Hi, Coach Steve of Joy and Success Coaching, and welcome to my channel and to today's video. Before we begin, I would love to encourage you to like today's video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with a friend. Today's video is going to be on the topic of good communication and the importance that good communication has for your relationship. Good communication can create good relationships, and bad communication can weaken a good relationship. It's important when you're communicating with your partner to be considerate. How would you feel if they had said such and such to you? Be considerate of the tone, the timbre, the inflection, the tempo of your speech. It really can make a difference. It would seem really small, but a lot of times it's not what is said so much as how it is said. There's a very big difference between, I guess, conversating and shouting, for a lack of better terms, and the way that comes across to your partner when attempting to discuss and communicate ideas, especially deeply emotional ones. I think another important thing to consider when communicating is to trade in your expectations for appreciation. It's important to not have any agendas, especially ones that are a unspoken agenda or a covert contract. If I say or do XYZ, that my partner is likely to respond with ABC. And if that's not clearly communicated from the start, you may not have that expected end result, and you're likely to come away not having that expectation fulfilled with some sense of disappointment or unfulfillment. And again, that was never anything that was clearly communicated or discussed. That was mostly an assumption that their response would fall within certain parameters or defined responses. And when you go into a communication expecting a certain response and don't receive it, that is really more so your expectations than your partner's reactions or responses. So it's important to trade in those expectations for appreciation, to appreciate your partner whether they are or are not responding in the way you had anticipated or expected. Another important tip for communications is to ask, and to ask good, high quality questions without judgment, without judging their response or lack of a response, but to really get to the heart of the matter by being very clear and very specific in the questions you are asking. I've heard it said before, there is a difference between what do you want from me and what can I do to help you. They come across very different, and they may get a very different response when stated to a partner. And that goes back to what I was saying earlier, the difference in not so much what is said, but how it is said and how it is received based on how it is said. And another important tip for communication is knowing what matters both to you and to your partner, to be able to determine when things are really worth digging deeper on, asking further questions, or when a conversation has gotten to its logical conclusion. To know what the values and ideals of yourself and your partner are, and to be able to express them clearly so that if boundaries are being crossed, it is understood that they are being crossed, that people aren't tiptoeing up to the edge unintentionally or unconsciously. Basically, I've heard it said, do you want to be right or do you want to be happy? And that's an important thing to consider when communicating with a partner. You don't want to strive to make your partner wrong and to make yourself right if the end result of you winning that argument is truly a loss for the relationship as a whole. In the end, everybody has a right to express themselves, but it is important that we consider not just simply being brutally honest, but also compassionately honest where possible. So I hope you guys have enjoyed today's video. Let me know down in the comments if there's any points that you've taken away from today's video that are going to be put into practice. Let me know if you have any additional thoughts on good, clear communications and the positive impacts they can have on your relationships going forward. I've been Coach Steve of Joy and Success Coaching of Philadelphia, and I'm hoping to hear from you guys soon and see you next week. You take it easy.